Krai was a talentless loser who becomes the leader of the greatest team of treasure hunters in the world. Even though he just wanted to live a quiet life in the peaceful village he was born in, becoming a treasure hunter was not even his plan. It was the dream of his childhood friends, who wanted to become famous heroes who, when they were young, everyone swore that they would become famous treasure hunters and travel the world. And because of his FOMO, Krai couldn't refuse them even though he wanted to. Many years have passed since then, and Krai is a young man now. As he is walking through the city on a rainy day, he sees a long line in front of a pub. He knows that this line is for all the treasure hunter wannabes who want to join one of the largest clans named First Steps, which is a collection of many parties that help each other. Krai joins the queue, thinking about how everyone needs a party to become successful. Every treasure hunter thinks of growing stronger with his party, but he could not do that. Just then, the girl behind him approaches him and starts asking if he is already in a party. Krai turns around and the girl named Ruta introduces herself and says she has just received her level 3 certificate. She reaches out for a handshake, but the incel Krai gets nervous when talking to girls, so he doesn't shake her hand. He still tells her his name though, and Ruta thinks it is enough to keep talking to him. She tells Krai that she always goes solo, but she was having some trouble at a treasure vault called White Wolf's Den, so she decided to join a party. Suddenly, one of the guys in the line starts mocking Ruta, asking if she really thinks she can clear White Wolf's Den at level 3 abilities. He tells her that level 3 hunters are noobs, but she gets angry at Scarface's remarks and tells him to take his words back. He doesn't, and things start getting heated between them. Krai wants no part of this so he tries his best to camouflage with the wall behind him. While a get inside the tavern, and Ruta is amazed by the amount of hunters in this place because it is her first time here, but Krai tells her that he has been to 5 such gatherings before. Ruta feels sorry for him because it means that he got rejected every time, and Krai tells her not to. Only those who have skills can become successful hunters, and losers like him must cling to any opportunity to survive. Ruta begins asking him about the parties present here. Suddenly, an angry redhead begins shouting at the organizers of the event, asking. He proudly declares that he is at level 4, and he will become the strongest hunter one day. A girl named Tino comes forth to discipline the boy, but the guard from earlier tries to stop her and asks her not to pay any attention to the idiot. But the redhead gets furious on hearing this. While they fight, they clear the area for the lowly and the redhead to fight, and Krai tells Ruta to come out with him so they don't get caught in the crossfire. He begins leading her outside, thinking he should not have come here. Meanwhile, Tino starts warming up and she suddenly notices Krai and heads towards him, ignoring the redhead's attack. Moments later, Krai falls to the ground as he finds Tino blocking his way with a very suggestive split. Her personality has done a 180, and she is no longer the mean killing machine, but a simp for Krai. She calls him master, asking since how long has he been here. Just then, the blonde named Ark comes there and tells Krai that he is late, because until the clan master and the leader of Grievers shows up, they can't start. Everyone is dumbfounded on learning that the pathetic loser on the ground is the leader of the formidable clan, and Krai just wants the earth to swallow him at this point. His story started 5 years ago, when he formed the Grievers party with his childhood friends to achieve their dream. They went to beginner vaults and cleared them quickly. In one vault, as Krai was standing clueless, his redhead friend told him not to move as he hunted down the monster attacking him from behind. Back to the present, Krai is on his seat with Ark and Tino next. Ark then says that Krai must have come late on purpose to mix with the applicants and assess them while hiding his identity. Krai wants to tell him that it is not true, and he really just wanted to stay low profile. Krai has no freaking idea about what to tell him. Ark replies that he will take that person into his party with no questions asked. Krai knew Ark would reply like this because he has a big heart, but the harem of girls he calls his party don't want to share him with anyone. Krai's attention then goes to the violent redhead from before, who is determined that he will join the Grievers party. Krai doesn't think that the boy is anything special right now, but he believes that if Ark's party trains him, he might unlock his potential. He knows that he has no talent in scouting people, but he leaves everything to the god of plot armor as he decides to pick Gil. However, he has a condition before that. Krai says the most important thing for a hunter is strength and the determination to never give up. That is why he wants Gil and others to show him their strength and prove they are worthy of joining their clan. He declares that ever since he became a hunter, he has never lost once, and everyone is shocked. Well, he has never been in a proper fight, declaring that anyone who gets it will get his recommendation to join Ark's party. Ground, and all the hunters present in the tavern start chasing it like mad dogs. Krai declares that the ring is also a treasure item, so he will let anyone who can. As Krai is chilling in his office, the clan vice master Eva comes there to tell him about the mess his little challenge caused yesterday. The entire tavern was destroyed as the hunters tried to get his ring. However, the Explorer Association wants to have a chat with him. Krai asks Eva to send Ark there, but she tells him that the association president has called for him, and on reaching his office, and begins apologizing. Chief Gark is not pleased with this apology. He sends his secretary to give Krai and asks him to choose one as his misbehaves, so he begins skimming through the book to find an easy mission and then dump it on Ark. He finds a mission in a level 3 vault about rescuing some hunters and immediately takes it, unaware that it is the most dangerous one. Once Krai reaches the clan office, he finds that Ark is not there. Tino tells him that he has gone on a long mission while showing the ring she won from the rest of the hunters yesterday. Krai congratulates her and tells her to keep the ring. He then asks if she is free right now, and Tino thinks it is time for her to get to second base with her master, but he just wants her to do the mission he got from the chief. Krai reads the mission details again and finds no problem, so he thinks that Tino doesn't want to do the mission alone. The rescue mission is in the White Wolf's den, and Krai knows exactly whom to send there along with Tino. He forms a party with Ruda, Tino, Scar and Gil, and then watches them from the top. His thoughts suddenly wander to the day 6 years ago. Krai started getting nervous as they approached the door and told his friends that they should head back today. He tried to convince them that he was not fit to be a leader and would only drag them down, but they didn't bother to listen. The redhead named Luke kicked the door open and introduced himself as the strongest swordsman in the world, and just after him, the tan girl Liz declared that she is the greatest thief. Krai cringed so hard at this that he just wanted to die, but he went to the receptionist to fill out the party paperwork reluctantly. No one chose a lame name Grievers for the party, and a poorly drawn skull as their symbol. Everyone told him that the name and the symbol were lame, and they paint them as some kind of creepy weirdos rather than the future strongest heroes. That was what Krai was waiting for, and he said that he just can't get motivated to be a treasure hunter if the party name is something else. He began sighing and whining, saying that maybe he should give up on being the group leader, and that made his friends immediately change their tone. They told Krai that he had a great naming sent him. Poor Krai had no option now, and that is how the Grievers party was formed. Back to the present, Krai stands in front of the 3 treasure hunters who are still processing the fact that he is the leader of Grievers. They ask if he is really the level 8 hunter nicknamed Thousand Tricks, and Tino stops hiding behind Krai as she says that it is obviously true. She tells everyone to kneel before her master if they have understood his greatness. Krai asks her to stop intimidating. The Hunter Association gives accomplished treasure hunters a nickname based on the data and rumors about them, and it is considered a great honor. The redhead Gil can't believe that Krai is the real deal, because he looks too weak. Tino tells him to put a cactus up his black hole, and Krai asks her to stop. She says that she can't team up with people who only run their mouth and are not worth anything. Krai thinks that this describes him perfectly, but he decides to stop dwelling on negative things. Seeing no way out, Krai says that he is dropping Gil from the team, and then asks Gil and Ruda if they will join the mission. They agree, and then Krai begins to leave for his office. Gil suddenly challenges him to a fight and says that he will become his underling if he loses. Krai accepts his challenge, but says that he doesn't have to fight him. Instead, he will find Tino, who is the leader of this team, and if he loses, he will have to stay true to his words. Soon, they come to the training hall, where Gil declares that he won't let his guard down today like he did in the tavern before. He tells and then drops her weapons, saying she doesn't even need them to low diff him. However, Gil throws away his sword too, claiming that he doesn't need it to fight against an unarmed woman, treating her to ice cream. He refuses, but when she insists and pouts, he gives in. Filled with determination, Tino lunges towards Gil before he even has the chance to react. He dodges her first blow, but that was just the setup for a powerful kick that slams him to the wall. Tino is confident that she won, but Gil gets up and charges at her. But then she immediately turns to Krai for praise and says that she became so strong thanks to him. While she goes to his side to receive some encouraging words, Gil lies on the floor, unable to believe that he lost. He recalls how he was always the strong. He became a treasure hunter and came to the capital, forming a party, and the difference in skill between him and his teammates grow too wide. So he left the party and came here. Tino walks up to him, asking him to use his sword if he wants. He refuses, and after that, Krai asks him if he left his old party because of the wide skill difference. But unlike him, their party stayed strong together. He doesn't say the crucial bit that it was his friends that didn't abandon him. Krai touches his sword with his feet, and his body is covered in flames. Believe that Krai can do this much without even holding the sword. After that, Krai reads the details about the treasure vault that Tino's team is supposed to examine. It is called Silver Wolves used to live there. When the wolves were hunted down, the treasure vault manifested. Krai says that it is too scary, and his secretary, Eva, tells him that he shouldn't have sent Tino and others there then. Krai tells her that it is just a level 3 vault, and Tino is strong, so she shouldn't have any problem. Eva tells him it is just her duty, and then remarks that she heard he used the boy's sword too. Krai says that the sword is a treasure relic, and it was so easy to use that even Gil can manage it without knowing anything about it. He suddenly becomes a relic otaku, saying that the relics found in treasure vaults are amazing, and he wants to collect all of them. He begins fantasizing about Gil's sword and wonders if he should try to buy it from him. Eva scolds him, saying that he already has too many relics, and he replies that every relic is different, so he can never get bored of them. Krai agrees with her, thinking how their party profits are divided equally, and he earns a lot even though he doesn't do anything. So he goes to a mage in his guild. She gladly charges the relic, while her partner tells Krai that recently a phantom wolf was seen near the White Wolf's den, and it wiped out a caravan that had level 3 guards. He is shocked to hear all this, and now that he sees that they are all level 5, he freaks out, thinking that he sent Tino and others to their death. When the two hunters ask him what is he thinking about, he reveals that he sent Tino to the White Wolf's den with 3 other hunters. They freak out, but think that this is the way Krai trains those who have potential. They say that and the atmosphere has started to become creepy. Tino tells them that this is why she asked everyone to write their will before coming here. She knew that Krai had given her a very difficult mission. Not only so she is worried about him, but she knows that Krai can manage things on his own. He remembers the time when they first went on a dangerous mission where they found a cyclops in a goblin cave, which actually broke Luke's special sword. They managed to defeat the beast, but they got pretty banged up while doing that. While talking about it in the tavern, they get approached claiming that newbies like them can't defeat a cyclops. Luke gets pretty pissed at this, but before he could do anything, the girls walk up to the dumbass and show him the head of the cyclops in a bag, which freaks him out as he runs away. Back in the present, Tino's party somehow manages to kill another monster far beyond the level that they are used to, and during that encounter, Gil realizes that the mana in his sword has been completely discharged. He soon remembers that Krai unleashed and he forgot to charge it after that. Scar seems pretty shaken as well, while Ruta breathes hard from the effort of killing just one monster. Scar thinks that they should head back since they don't have the appropriate people or level to deal with these monsters. But Tino straight up rejects their plans, claiming that Krai sent them over for a reason, and there is no way that they are going to disappoint him. She claims that everything is a part of Krai's plan, and even Gil's sword being discharged might be a part of his plan, to attack anyone who comes near the cave. They all hide behind some rocks and discuss their plan further on from here, and everyone decides that it would be for the best if they avoided confrontation here in the open and try to enter the cave first. Gil heroically claims that he will distract the doggos while the others run inside. Tino immediately realizes that Gil has the brain capacity of a toaster, as she tells him that the wolves will doggo-style him if he tries a sword, and even without mana, it is still a formidable weapon. But as the leader of the group, Tino denies it, as she needs to make sure that they all return. Tino comes up with an alternative plan pretty quickly, as she claims that she and Ruta can act as distractions which will stop their Sigma grind set, while Gil and Scar will attack them from behind as if they dropped a soap. Finally realizes how amazing it could feel to fight in a party where your teammates are not complete retards, and moves ahead to the next area. Before walking through the next set of caves, Tino stops them, claiming that she can feel the presence of someone nearby. Scar asks whether it could be the people who were lost in the cave, but Tino refuses to believe that, as she thinks that Krai must have arranged for them to fight against a boss monster before they can retrieve the injured party members, since he had already seen several of his friends die when they tried playing the hero. Tino replies that Krai must have saw through him immediately, and that's why he put him in this party so that he can face his fears and grow. She turns around to the rest of the team, telling them that they all were chosen for a reason, as Krai is a god and does to hit them with his axe. They all manage to dodge the hit as they run around, but Scar and Ruta end up falling to the ground. Tino realizes that the monster is incredibly powerful and they need to come up with a plan. She knows his head is his weakness. Whoever could have thought that? Manages to block the attack with his sword, while Scar attacks it from behind, only to get bitch slapped in the face. The monster tries attacking Scar again and breaks his sword. The monster would have killed Scar if not for Tino, who jumps up on its axe and starts running towards its face. She takes the leap of faith, but unfortunately the beast is much quicker and ends up slashing her across her juicy thighs, while she stabs him in the back of the neck as she has watched too much attack. They are all incredibly shocked at this since the boss is already dead. But soon 4 more boss monsters emerge from the darkness, carrying several different weapons as Ruta freaks out. This time even Tino feels like Krai went a little overboard, as one boss was enough. But she is not to quickly enter the nearby narrow cave where the beasts won't be able to chase them. But one of the monsters immediately covers the entrance, blocking their escape. Scar and Gil both speak up, telling the girls that they will act as bait, tells them all to follow him as they start walking through the cave, while he himself is scared as he doesn't know what can happen next on this adventure. He starts reminiscing about how his friends reacted when he first showed them that he is a giant hoarder. He expected them to be disgusted by him as his teammates grabbed a Gucci bag like a total gold digger, but that bag itself was a relic with unlimited space. The girl was immediately rizzed by this and asks chocolate inside. Soon enough the lowly grabbed a bracelet and put it on her, asking Krai what the hell did it do. But before he could reply, the lowly would someone keep such an item. But his concentration switches over to the reed head. Luke grabs a sword just as red as he is. Krai immediately tells him to drop the sword as it was cursed, but he fails and Luke ends up getting cursed by the sword as he starts trying to slash anyone who came in his way. They held him down to the ground and waited for him to tire himself out before they can grab the sword out of his grasp. Back in the present, he keeps walking with his head down, trying to figure out whether he is going in the right direction. He has absolutely no idea where he is and wishes that someone would take the lead and actually escort them instead. But all the party members have total belief in him as they expect him to know everything. He keeps walking while turning back every now and then, but Tino speaks up, claiming that Krai definitely has some other plans as she already knows the entire layout of the caves and hands everyone some chocolates. Tino starts deep-throating the candy, showing Krai her skills, while Gil seems interested in his relic, but starts talking to Rod, claiming that he never expected a level 5 party to have trouble in this cave, and even the redhead Gil claims that the wolf monsters were definitely strong, but not strong enough to eradicate a fully stacked level 5 party. Rod, Krai can't handle this monster at all, and he wishes that he waited for the pretty boy Ark to handle this mission. Everyone inside the cave immediately turns towards Ark for further guidance, while he decides to trick them to get some more time, and tells Tino that he is making her in charge of this party, and her job is to take them all out of this cave as soon as possible, while he checks up on something. Tino isn't too confident about it and claims that Krai is the best here, but Krai claims that this would be good training and gaslights her into becoming the leader. She shows him her chicken thighs as a reward and claims that she will not disappoint him. They soon start walking through the labyrinth of caves when they soon find as they get worried about the phantom showing up. But Rod tells Tino that he will act as a shield for them so they can escape safely. Tino shoots down the idea, claiming that they are all returning back safely since Krai is with them. One of the other members of the injured party claims that he should act as the bait as he is disposable. But Krai tells them that they won't need to do all this as they can simply walk out the cave. Before that can happen though, they start hearing the howls of the wolf bosses coming near them, which immediately puts them all on edge. Suddenly Tino feels something incredibly strong coming towards them, eating about all the relics that he has, including the extra lives relic. He currently has 5 extra lives, which means on the 6th hit, he is a surprise attack on the enemy, which will take one of his lives, but is their best bet right now. She tells Krai that she came all the way to the city to meet him, but when she arrived at the mansion she heard that Krai was out in the cave as she needs to talk with her student and immediately moves over to Tino still hiding behind Krai. Tino is so useless that she can't even survive this stupid cave alone and had to ask Krai for help. Gil obs so long she is but keeps talking trash to a person who is already down in the dumps. Krai is too pussy to intervene while Tino gets on all 4 and apologizes to Liz for her failures in an amazing pose, to be honest. Krai finally thinks that this is too much and intervenes in between, telling Liz that Tino did an excellent job during the quest as she defeated almost all the enemies and even found the injured party members. He tells Liz that she can go east. Krai looks around to see Gil still stuck on the wall like a lizard and decides to rein in his tongue, scared that he might say something wrong. Suddenly, they realize that the Phantom has re-emerged from the wall, and behind him is a giant wolf boss from America with a huge fucking minigun in his hand. This pisses Liz off as she walks away, putting her mask back on as the wolf starts shooting at them. Liz quickly knees the Phantom in the air and then punches him down on the ground. Tino is shocked to see her power. While like a total madwoman, Liz continues punching the Phantom, calling her a giant imbecile who will never be able to do anything if she doesn't quickly shorten the gap between her and the other stronger hunters. Poor. He knows better than to get involved as he doesn't want himself to be manhandled and totally. They safely escape after that, and the next morning, Gil comes back to the training ground and gives his magic sword to Tino, claiming that he wants Krai to have it as he is going to train from the scratch once again as he wants to become as strong as Liz one day. The other members don't seem that optimistic about that, while Tino thinks about the masks that the Grievers wear. It turns out that Krai put in the order to create those masks, but this little retard forgot to add eye holes to them. He expected his friends to literally shit on him, but they are just as dumb and think that this is intentional so that they can save themselves from enemy flashbangs. Krai decided to let it slide and never revealed the truth as he walks back out in the balcony to get some fresh air as he wonders what would be his next adventure. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing and watch the video on your screen next.